Um, here we go. So from.
Do you want to share that at some stage?
I'm going to share it. It's going to be recorded and it's going to go into XYZ tools.
Okay, good.
Okay. So this is about how to share the opportunity. If you've just got started in the business, these are some of the things that we kind of do. And I'm not going to labor it. I'm just going to give you an overview. This is the top 5 tips, I think, that I would suggest. So let's just move that up there. So first of all, you need to really work on talking to a lot of people, but finding 3 people at least that are keen to change and improve their lives. So that's what you're looking for, because you need to focus on helping those to move forward. So you really don't want to have 15 or 20 people like this. You want to kind of do it in bites. Somebody says to me, how do you eat an elephant? And the answer is 1 bite at a time, right? So the same principle is you're working with 3 people that have said, yes, I'm interested. I need to improve my health. I'm interested to understand about the business. Can you please share it? So it's not about number 2 there. It's not about convincing or pushing or forcing anyone who doesn't share your point of view. You simply just want to sort through the people that are interested from the people that are not so interested. And everyone, as it says there in number 3, has to make their own decisions. It's not everyone is open to listening at the right time, but it's about looking for these 3. So don't worry, not everyone's going to say yes. You'll get a few no's, may get a lot of no's, but be ready to help the ones who want to be helped with either their health or their income or both, right? So our goal is simply to awaken their curiosity, to get them eager to either attend a virtual live meeting like we're doing now on a Zoom, or an event, if you've got an event coming up near your city. And as we say, sell the sizzle, not the steak. Don't go into great detail. Simply say, look, this is the product. You talk a little bit about the history of the product, how effective it's been through the research over the years we've had it, and share some of the stories of people that you know in your upline, and you can make contact through those in your back office, and find the leaders in your group that are able to share their stories and a little bit about how it's progressed for them over the years. And we've got some great stories going back 25 years. I mean, amazing. So the presentation as it goes, I mean, you can do it on a laptop, you can do it through the slides that are in your back office. It really depends how you want to do it. But you must make people aware that you're going to make a business presentation to them. So don't let them feel you're trapping them into something, okay? Just let them know up front that you're going to explain this to them about the product, about the business opportunity, and then it's a question of they just make up their mind what they want to do, right? So connecting and empathizing with your guests to better understand if it's an opportunity for them. The best thing to do, of course, is to ask them questions. How's things going with their work? How's things going with their free time? Have they taken vacations? Why are they driving an old car? If they're driving an old car, if they need a new automobile, whatever it is, you kind of just work out who you're talking to and present the opportunity to them accordingly. A lot of people are afraid of giving presentations because, again, you're teaching them how to teach others. Now, they may be very nervous at the beginning because they don't know much about it, so they'll need your support. And we can use videos, we can use slides. We've got masses of information that Keith Hooper has kindly put together in XYZ tools, and there's just a whole library of stuff there that you can draw on. So as I say, you're teaching how to teach. This is the secret. I mean, it's not about doing it all yourself, and it's making them understand that you want to help them to understand the business so they can teach it to others as well. So accompanying new consultants in their first few weeks teaching them the basic points until they're ready to go it alone. And they'll probably correct you on a few things, and then you know that they've got the message. Okay. So when you present the health slides, talk about the benefits, not so much about the the profile of the product. Talk about what it can do for them, how it can help with their energy, how it can help with their immune system, particularly, of course, as we're going through this situation with COVID. I mean, and those people that have had the vaccination, they're not immune to this, right? So they still need to work building on their immune system as we head towards the next winter season. It's definitely going to come back to us. We're being told that already. So this is the time to prepare, not leave it till the last minute, right? So the emotions is the key to this, to connect with people. If your prospect needs to feel what you're feeling, you need to put your heart and soul into it. You need to have those stories at your fingertips, not only your own personal results, but those of the people that you're meeting on the Zoom calls, and that you can speak to through your upline of enrollers and sponsors. So it is about making your presentation enthusiastic and vibrant. You have to kind of get yourself in that mood to talk to people, and that they feel that energy. They will definitely. When I talk to people, they say, you look great on it. It's clearly working for you. So how does it work? Tell me more about it. That's what you want them asking you questions on, and how it's going to benefit from them. Ask them also, whom do you know that could benefit from taking Immunical? Because they will have family with health challenges. They will have maybe work colleagues and friends with health challenges. And so get them thinking about who they're going to be talking to, and let them know that you're there to support them, and do those presentations hand in hand with them. I'm going backwards, sorry. Whoops, that one. So yeah, storytelling is very helpful. Health and business testimonies. Share the immediate results they could obtain. That's really important. And make it simple. Don't overwhelm them with numbers and science. Just keep it really basic. They will ask more questions, and you can then direct them to where they find the information they need. And this is an important part of presenting, because if you do all that for them, they're going to be expecting it all the time. You're looking for future leaders. You're looking for people that are going to take the initiative, ask the right questions, and then go off and do their own research, put that together, check back with you that they've got that right, and then take it up to their own people. That's the kind of thought process I think is really important. So let's move this down a bit. So these are things you've got to kind of work with. Your self-confidence is very important. You're teaching people this as I'm explaining it to you. So you're asking them direct questions. Do you like what you've seen? Do you like the opportunity? Do you see yourself developing this? Do you see yourself getting involved with the product or the business? What did you like most? Do you think it's more about the health side of things or more about the business side of things? Okay. How would you value the presentation from 1 to 10? And if the prospect seems ready and like the presentation, so let's get you registered now. Okay, so it's a closing question. You need to move them forward or move along, right? Because this is a process of sifting and sorting. It's not a question, as I said before, of convincing and getting their arm up their back and marching them into the office, right? It's about just working with them to see what they liked, where they need more help, and let them know you're there for them. So most people are afraid of direct questions, of direct answers. You may ask them a question and they might not give you a direct answer. So they might use smoke screens. We say, well, I don't have the money, I don't have the time, or I don't know a lot of people. Well, that is a smoke screen. It's not true, of course. because if you go onto anybody's Facebook page and see how many friends they have and see how many friends each of those people have, you're running up to 200 or 300 contacts very, very quickly, just through 3 generations, right? So be alert and notice if the prospect is liking the opportunity, but is just afraid of making decisions, okay? If you get stuck, help them by, you can maybe bring in your enroller or your sponsor or somebody further upline in your organization, a gold, a diamond, platinum, depending on who you're talking to. Okay, so always reach out for help and let them know they can do the same. And don't sort of focus on their problems, focus on the things that they liked. Okay, so as we say, closing is the art of helping a person to make a decision regardless of their fears and doubts. They're naturally going to have fears and doubts because it's new to them. And we all did when we first started. Everybody's skeptical initially. They need to understand and they need to trust the process. So yeah, doing these new things activates in our minds against fears. Beyond our fear is our dream life. And we need to get out of our comfort zone. That's it. I mean, from the moment I started the business many, many years ago, I bought the products and the guy said to me, you need to stack it up in front of the TV. So every time you sit down to watch TV, you'll realize you've got products to sell. And it worked. I had to move $2,000 worth of Herbalife in those days. So there we go. So how do I know the prospect likes the project? Well, your feedback is not always verbal. You'll see they're smiling, they're nodding their head, they're asking questions, they're showing interest. Find out, are they already thinking about potential contacts, and ask them. And if they ask you for additional information, again, you can direct them to PubMed or the physician desk reference site or to XYZ tools, right? But it's important that you do it with them, shoulder to shoulder. Don't let them go off on their own and get lost. Be there for them to help them get going. And that's pretty much it. This is to say, it's a pretty quick presentation, but I just wanted to do that for new people, not to overwhelm them. And if you're here for the first time, if you're at that meeting on Saturday, again, this is available to you. I can share this slides with you, and there's a lot more information in your back office. I really encourage you to go in there, look under the information that's available to you there to support you. There's also some incentives, some competitions and things where we have running currently, where you can get free vacations. We're working towards one right now out to Miami at the Fontainebleau Hotel. That's later in November. And there's going to be some more travel coming up into Europe, coming up soon in September. I know a few people are flying across for that for the first time this year, which is great. That Portugal is now open. I was looking on Portugal this morning on Facebook. I looked up Portuguese food. I just typed it into the search bar, and a couple of sites came up in the UK. And I looked at the people that have been asking questions about the food parcels and how many people they had liking the website. There were over 200 people following it. You could see who they were. Most of them were Portuguese and were writing in Portuguese, but they live in the UK, so they're bilingual. And then you can see how many friends they've got, and most of their friends were Portuguese. So just through that one site, I was able to look at a whole bunch of people that would be potentially interested because they're dealing with somebody that's selling product. Okay, so they're used to that. So if you are interested to do something with Europe, guys, for those of you on the other side of the pond, I've mentioned this a few times, but the resources are there for you at your fingertips. All of the countries over here in Europe, majority of people in business speak English, and you do want to be looking for leaders right now, right? Customers will follow, but right now you're looking for the key people that are going to help you build your business across this side of the world. And likewise, you know, if you're here in the UK and you're listening, we've got some great folks on the call here right now from the United States and Canada who come and support this meeting each week. And, you know, if you've got relatives or friends or business contacts there, again, we've got this support network there to help and support you as well. So let's see if there's anybody has any feedback on any of that so far. Let me just switch the screen a bit here. And we'll do this. Let me get this bit right. Okay, so does anybody have any questions? Feel free to open up your mic if you do.
How was the launch in Portugal?
Well, it's what we call a soft launch, Kelvin. So basically, we've opened the door. We're in the back office. If you go onto the website and scroll down the page, you know there's a little flag there for each country.
Yes.
If you click on the drop down, you'll see that the Portuguese flag is now there, and you can read the site in Portuguese or English.
Okay.
Okay. So there's enough information there for people. You can cut and paste it into an email if you want to, if they're speaking Portuguese, or you can direct them to the site. So you can sign people up in Portugal. They're having their product shipped to them from Madrid. So it's literally very close. It's like state to state over here, you know. I mean, it's really not far. So they're going to get within two to 3 working days at the most.
Okay.
Scott,
Thank you.
Yeah,
Scott,
no
can you go back to that question of, I have a person, let's say in Toronto, who speaks Portuguese. All right.
Yeah.
I want to direct them to the Portuguese website. Now, but I still want it to be my site. How do I get them to my site, but with the Portuguese language?
Yeah. So you basically open up your page. Let's see if we can do this together.
For example, I'm milktech.com. So that's my opening to Immunotech. But how do I doctor that so they get the Portuguese page and not our English page?
Yeah, well, again, you once you go into, you scroll down the page until you come across, you'll have the US flag there, or the Canadian flag, excuse me. So if you click on it, it'll drop down a menu, and you'll see all the other flags of the countries we're in.
So we're asking them to, in my site, to go to the flag thing and then drop down. Okay.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Then they'll see the Portuguese flag. They click on it, and they can choose Portuguese or English.
Right, and I just want to, and that's your customer site. So he could send his customer link to whoever, and they could go to whatever language or whatever flag they want to look at, right?
Sure.
Not the business center, his customer site. So you would send that customer link to whomever, and whatever language they speak, where we're doing business, they just click on that flag.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, the majority of the people you're going to be dealing with will be bilingual, right? Because obviously that's how you contacted them. So the problem only usually arises once they're on board. And if they're doing this in Portugal with people that don't speak English, then the site's there for them in their own language without any problem. So the initial contact between you guys and the Portuguese is probably going to be in English, I guess. Not always, but 99% of the time, I would think. Okay, so Samson, there we are. Samson's here. Samson's actually in Ireland, down in sunny Dublin. Good to see you. Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's great to see you. How's things over there?
Oh, not too bad. We are
Good.
just back on track again. I was happy to see Willie and Dennis.
Yeah.
Back to the business. You know, they were the sort of people we were working with some years back.
Yeah. We're slowly. Ireland is coming back on form.
Yeah.
No, Foster wants to get back over there. He likes the Guinness. So.
that is a setup, Scott. You're a professional at this. Samson, when you mentioned Willie, is it Willie from Galway?
Yeah, Willie and Dennis, the Galway team.
That should be good for the environment. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very good
guy,
news.
so
Very
that's
good news.
very
Yeah, good news. Yeah.
love his presence in the room. And okay,
Yeah.
that is good. Well, say hello to him for me.
Yeah.
I'll do that. I'll do
Awesome.
that.
Well, we're looking forward to you guys coming back over this direction now. We're going. This is a great time of the year to visit over here, isn't it, Samson? I mean, you know, Ireland in the summer is a great place, and the early autumn,
Yes.
really good fun.
Yeah.
So, what else have we got, folks? Anybody else got any feedback on the presentation so far this evening, or anything else you'd like me to add?
Just a comment. Oh, go ahead, please. Okay.
Go ahead.
Comment. I was on Larry Thompson training today, and basically really confirms what you've just said, Scott. Keep it simple, keep it effective, and really be bold in the process. In that, again, you're screening for people that you want, not having to take on everybody.
Yeah, let's just dig into that a bit farther. Actually, I think it's worth saying, Tom, because you know I was mentored by Larry, you know, back in the 80s, and we're still good friends to this day. And his message has been consistent over almost 40 years. You know, that it's not about techniques; it's about the principles of the business. If you are completely convinced yourself of the product's efficacy, if it's been good for you and good for your family and good for your friends, and you have an understanding of the business, or you're close to the people that do have an understanding of the business, and I'm talking about at a higher level, okay? I'm not talking about people that are doing this for $300 to $500 a month. I'm talking about the people that have built their business to $3,000 to $5,000 a month, or $30,000 to $50,000 a month, right? Because we've got those stories. Let's not be shy about it. And if you're trying to attract key people into your business in another country, right, then you've got to have a strong message, you know? And I remember going back to those days when it was very new for me and I didn't understand it, right? Because that, I have to remember that. That's where most people are coming from. I was 24 years old. I did have a business already. I was in the construction business of my own. I'd started my own company. And a friend of mine called me up. He said, I've found us a way to become millionaires. Now, that was his opening line, right? I said, well, what is it? He said, I can't tell you on the telephone. He said, there's somebody, the very important guy that you need to meet that's over here from America. I said, well, who is it? He said, don't get into that stuff right now. He said, I don't have time. He said, come and meet me at 6 o'clock. So he was selling the sizzle, right? He was selling me the sizzle. He wasn't going to give anything away because if he gave me too much information, he knew I'd make a decision not to come. So he got me intrigued to come and find out more. And that's the key to this part of the questioning. It's about getting someone's level of interest peaked so they want to find out more. And when I got there and they explained to me about, we didn't have any computer time at that, then we didn't have any email, we were dealing with postal service, and to make an international telephone call to the United States was a fortune, right? So it all those things against us, which we don't have now, certainly no video, but we did it. We did it with fax machines, and we sent information back across the pond, and we got to a point in the pre-launch of the UK for that company, Herbalife it was at the time. So in the 6 to 8 weeks for the pre-launch, I did nearly $40,000 worth of product on something we didn't even have here. So on day one, I was loading up my car and the headlights were in the trees because there was so much weight in the back, right? And that's what we did. We were just really raw enthusiasm and excited about the opportunity. And that's where you've got to come from, guys. You've got a fantastic story here that you're sharing with your new people. And they need to feel that energy that they're dealing with a company that's just doubled its turnover in the last 3 years. That's a powerful story that's got people that have had really chronic health conditions that have come back to full health, right? That some of the most elite athletes in the world are using this product consistently for the last 12 years at least, to my knowledge, through the Orico organization. These are powerful, powerful statements, and people can get excited about them. And I'm saying that's where you've got to come from. Don't get bogged down with the detail. Just talk about the key points with the right people at the right time. And it is the right time, let's face it, because a lot of people have been thrown out of their businesses. Small businesses have gone down. The mom and pop businesses have crashed, and they're looking for ways to get back in, how to build a business without staff, without overhead, without the tax office jumping all over them. You know, this has got so many pluses for the situation we're in right now. And when you take that into Europe, which has been hit very, very hard, you've got a lot of people that are very hungry over here that are looking for opportunity right now. So, you know, reach out. I do get a little bit over excited about this because I can see the potential is so big.
Well, Scott, let me keep you going because very soon it's going to be your bedtime, and I need to keep Samson awake for a selfish reason. He's my only guy in Ireland right now, and I've been to his town in Port Allerton. He's taking good care of me. So when Keith gives me his blessing, hopefully not today, not anytime soon, I'll get a chance to go back there. You know, what you just said right now is so powerful. And it's not everybody that is comfortable with, you know, I found a way to become a millionaire. But you still need to break it down to whatever language that you feel comfortable. If millionaire is what, you know, it's going to really make you feel like, okay, you got a flu, then say, I have found a way to become financially independent. You know, find choices of words that will fit in your personality.
Exactly. I agree.
You know, I have no problem telling my friends I found a way to become a millionaire. Not so much because, you know, it will make me look super, you know, handsome. Thank you, Dean. But I realized it's not a bad goal to shoot for. And it was a good goal because even if you don't hit it, it's still, you know, getting you closer to a better goal than.
Sure.
But the financially independent is something that most people can relate. Now, one final thing on this, because of the history, 25 years of track record, we have right now, we have Keith on the call. So even if it's not you experiencing that right now, you know, as Keith always talk about, you know, whose shoulders are you standing on? You have people that you can reference this millionaire. But we have a, you know, a club of people that have, you know, earned that kind of money.
Sure.
But at the same time, maybe for you, it's going to be $5,000 a month, maybe, you know, 2,500 pounds. That is going to make you independent, where you're not rushing to a job. You're not really dependent on somebody. So you need to find your own common ground. I also like what Scott said, because sometimes, because we are focusing so much on the $500 a month, we don't also talk about the $30,000, $40,000 a month because we think, well, that is too much for some people. Well, try me, try my wife, try my family. You know, if you want to travel around the world right now, how much money do you think is going to require you and your family to do worldwide tour, especially on this planet? Since we're only here for a little while, why don't you explore? It's going to take money. So even if it's not for something that grand, think about the day-to-day living. You know, yesterday I went to do a little oil change. Well, they found something else that I need to fix. They found something that I need to fix. Well, by the time I left, it's gone from just an oil change to a lot of money. And that's what happens. It takes money to really cruise control around. So this is a very good discussion. Thank you, Scott.
Well, you know, Scott, if I could at this point, you know, I think so often that when you think about somebody and what does $1 million business look like? And I think the thing you look at is, as you know, when you get old, like Dean and Foster, you know, when you start to get old like them. But, you know, if you look at it and you look at it from a financial planning side of the world, okay, if you have $1 million in the bank and you're 75, or $1 million invested, and you have it in some kind of income producing scenario, and you're 65 years old, what they look at is, so you don't outlive your money theoretically. Okay, you still could if you live past about 85, but you could take 5%. Okay, which is roughly $4,100 a month. Okay, so if you look at somebody that has $1 million business and $1 million in the bank, and they can take out 5% of that annually, okay, roughly $50,000 a year. And the idea is that if they don't live past about 85, they won't run out of money. Well, that's $4,100 a month. Okay, I can tell you, Sandra would have a heart attack if she only had $4,100 a month to spend. Okay, and so you think about that, but so often we think about $1 million seems like such an unrealistic expectation that somebody could put $1 million in the bank. So the question is, could you put $1 million in the bank, or could you find 3 to 4 people that would take this business seriously? Because if you can find 3 to 4 people that take this business seriously, you'll make $4,100 a month.
Yeah, exactly.
$50,000 a year. And I think so often that people don't see the value of that. Mm-hmm. Okay, they're trying to look at it. Okay, and so which is that? And to the point that we're here, I was, in fact, later today, I'm doing a Zoom with a young lady, and we're doing a little interview with her. But if you don't mind, Scott, can I take about 3 or 4 minutes here and do something real quick?
Absolutely, great.
Okay, I'd like Samson, Pauline, and Calvin to unmute. Okay, if they could, the 3 of them. And I just want to ask you, so the idea is here is, Samson, prior to Immunotech, okay, prior to any network marketing business, what was your business? What did you do for a living?
I was working in a telecommunication company in Ireland.
Okay, working for a telecommunications company? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay, you were in telecommunications.
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right, Pauline, prior to network marketing, what were you doing out there in the cold world before you came in here where it was warm?
Okay, I was teaching.
Okay,
in a school.
You were a school teacher. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, and Kelvin, let everybody know a little bit, before you got involved in network marketing, what did you do?
I was the senior manager for the Boston Stock Exchange.
Senior manager for Boston Stock Exchange. Okay, so here's what we know. Somebody that's in the phone business can succeed in network marketing. Somebody that's a school teacher can succeed in network marketing. Somebody that works on the crooked stock exchanges can succeed in a real business. So here's what you do. You think of that because so often people want to know, is somebody like me? So the idea is, look, we got a number of people that have backgrounds in telecommunications successful here. Let me tell you the story of Samson. We have school teachers in the business. Let me tell you about Pauline. We have people that were executives in the Boston Stock Exchange that have built a tremendous business here in network marketing. Let me tell you Kelvin's story. The product story is great, but you also want to have that business story. So once again, just think about that. And I think so often we get focused so much on the product side, which is great, and we want to have those product stories, but you want to have the story of where did people come from?
Yeah.
What was their background? Okay, Dean, what were you doing before you came in out of the cold into network marketing?
It depends upon at what level you're speaking, but let's just say I was in computers.
Okay, all right. So he was a geeky. So even computer guys can do this. Okay, Jean is sitting there shaking her head. Even computer guys can do that. So so once again, you think about that when you're doing the presentation, and I think so often we you want to put that in there when you're talking to somebody, tell them about the product, and you start to talk about the business, and they start to say, well, I'm not so sure if I can do this. To Scott's point, reference somebody that from all these calls, all the Zooms that we're got coming up here on August the 4th, August the 5th. Your job is to take notes about those people outside of network marketing and what they did, so you can relate it back to them. Thanks, Scott. Thanks for the time.
I like to ask something when about the $1 million in the bank and the $4,100 a month.
Yep.
What I do, I always use that as a scenario, but I also use how would you like to make what you're already earning in passive income where you won't have to get up and go to work? You know, so if they making whatever, and if they can do that staying home, would that excite you? And to me, that's something they could relate with because they already making it. I don't care if it's 20 grand a year. They already making that. And if they can stay home and do the same thing, most people, they like that idea. And that's what I've been using. So I'm just sharing that.
Yep. Yeah, it's true, you know, and as I say, the friend that called me, I mean, you know, I was 25, he was 25, 26, that he knew what buttons to press with me. If he'd have talked to me about nutrition and weight loss, which was their thing at the time, he wouldn't have got my attention because I was skinny. You know, I mean, there's no way. So he knew it was the business side of things. And I think that's the point that we're trying to say is like, it depends who you're talking to. It's so important that you have a profile on each individual. You know, and going back to social media, say you've burnt your list of contacts. Somebody says that to me sometimes. Oh, I don't want to do network marketing anymore. I've burnt my list. Well, I mean, that is ridiculous because social media now gives you ultimate access to anyone you want to get to. And you can cross-reference there from a Facebook page to a LinkedIn page on their professional side and see what this person's all about. So when you approach them, you're laser targeting the people that you're trying to get on board as your leaders, right? You're laser targeting them because you know their career, you know their interests, you know their hobbies, you know exactly what is their hot buttons, whether they like to take vacations abroad, whether they have a family, what is their focus, right? So you could do this on each other as an exercise, right? You all know each other on Facebook, on LinkedIn. Do this as an exercise and see what we're all doing. You could look up mine if you like, right? Find me on Facebook, find me on LinkedIn, and see how I present myself on those pages. And that's what you're looking for. You're looking for certain people, whether it's network marketing leaders, whether it's business leaders, your teachers we've heard from tonight. Teaching skills are so important in our business, to be patient, to understand where the person's coming from, to get feedback. All these skills are available to us within the whole group. As Calvin and Keith have just said, you know, you can draw upon these skills from others because the people in your upline have a vested interest to help you build your business, clearly.
Scott, this person that introduced you at the early age, confirm with me if you would, because my sense is he was also fairly new, but somehow he was very skillful because he was very almost like he knew exactly what he was doing to pique your interest. He wasn't ready to explain anything. Every time you asked a question, he said, "Don't worry about it. I will get into that later." Every time I asked a question, he said, "Don't worry about it. We'll get into that later." And to me, I think that was brilliant. It kept you somehow.
Yeah.
He wasn't, being evasive, but he kept you being curious.
Well, that's right, because it was in a pre-launch situation, so nobody had any product. All we had were black and white copies of testimonies of people's health and success in weight loss and income. And we had Larry Thompson on the telephone coaching a handful of people on what to do. And he'd been coached as to what to say on the telephone to get people to come to meetings without actually going into any detail. And that was the skill. And we used to play. I had a good relationship with this guy. We used to play racquetball together, right? So we knew each other from school days, from college days. So I was interested. I liked the guy. I wanted to be in his company and work with him. So there were a lot of things that triggered me. Do you see what I mean? And I think that's the importance. And a lot of people say, "Oh, I don't want to talk to my friends. Oh, I don't want to talk to my family." Well, that's the richest source of support you've got. Okay. I mean, if you imagine you open a restaurant, okay, and there was a restaurant literally 4 doors down the street. Do you think your family and friends would walk past the door of your restaurant and wave at you while they're on the way to the other restaurant that's your competitor? No. They come and support you, right? And it's the same thing. It's how you frame it in your mind. You know, if you go to the family and friends and you say, I need your help here, I need your support, this is what I'm getting into, I just want to tell you about it. I don't necessarily think you're going to get involved. I just want to tell you about it. Right? So take the salesy bit out of it. Take the fact you're trying to convince them to do something. You just want their support and their opinion. You know, people do love to give their opinion, by the way, right? So that's the thing I've learned. And we're going back to Larry again. You know, those principles have never changed in 40 or 50 years. You've just got to go through. John Solider is another great example. You know, he and I would work together back in the early 90s in the UK, and we were out on the road all the time. We were out talking to small business owners, to mum and pop businesses, shopkeepers, wherever we could get to people that understood about how to run a business, how to be in profit, and had good contacts and people that respected them. They were the people we cherry picked right away. And we looked for our customers by accident. If they didn't do the business, they bought the product. You know, it's like this is one or the other. Okay, so any more feedback on any of this stuff? Because it's really good we're talking like this. I think it really opens it up. You know, it gives us a platform where we can share this information and hear from some of the leaders that we've got on the call. It's great stuff.
So we had to change numbers. Is this number going to be for next week?
Yes, it will, Pauline. It'll run for about 7 or 8 weeks. It's the way that Zoom does it. It sets you up for 7 or 8 weeks.
Oh, okay.
Kicks you out, and I have to have another number. But Tom's been coaching me on how to use it, so maybe I'll get better at it.
Okay.
Well, I want to close with one little thought here. I want everybody to realize doctors can do this. Dr. White and Dr. Jeffrey can do this. So we've got doctors that can build immunotech businesses, and we've even got accountants, people that were accountants, bean counters that can do this, you know? So yeah, we got a couple of bean counters. So, you know, bean counters and, you know, the thing I would say, Pauline, to, you know, Scott was talking about Facebook, to the school teachers on Facebook, all the groups, what are you doing to protect yourself when you go back to school?
Yeah. Absolutely.
There's nothing more important than having Immunical. So you can start those conversations. So to the school teacher face groups, if you're a school teacher, what are you doing to protect yourself going back in the fall?
Mm-hmm. Very good point.
You know?
Yeah.
So, all right, I'm going to have to hop off, Scott. Aren't you glad that I'm leaving? And then that way you can shoot me over the recording and I'll get it up. Have a great day, everybody.
And you. Thank you, Keith. Cheers.
See you later, Keith.
So yeah, I mean, this is a great call, and for you listening in on the first time today, and you came to the meeting London, I think it's been great for you to hear from some of the leaders across the other side of the world as well. And it's great. And Samson, I'm so happy to see you back as our main man in Ireland there. It's good to see you, my friend. You know, when we met up in September.
Yeah,
it was the evening of the lockdown, wasn't it? Do you remember?
Yeah.
On the Friday night, we got over there. We flew over to Dublin to meet up, and on Friday night, the government said we're going to shut down the city, no public transport Saturday morning, and Samson had to get in his car and fight through the traffic to get to us. It was quite a day, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
One thing I would say, Scott, before we wrap things up. Samson, if I can say this to encourage him, he's done this and he's done this well in the past. He needs to find that zone and get back in the zone because, you know, he is somebody that should be, I'm not putting him on the spot, but he's done this. He's held meetings and he's a very committed guy. Even with, you know, limited resources. I mean, if you know some of the trips that we've taken together and to be able to travel from, you know, Port Arlington to places like Galway and come back in the middle of the night and all that stuff, it takes commitment. So you've done this before. You need to start looking at right now what you have. And you and I, we've gone through this, and maybe you were a little tired, but now where you're going to recharge is now we have Scott, because you know for the years, one of the things that I advocated on you guys' behalf was have somebody on the ground in the UK and Ireland.
Yeah.
And promises were made, not bashing anybody, but there was no stability. So some of the people who made promises were let go at one point. So it wasn't because the company didn't have the vision, but things did not happen as we had hoped for. And now you have Scott, who is accessible, and he is definitely, I mean, you know, at this point, you know, if I try to praise him too much, it may cost me. So I may have to buy a drum. Let's say right now, he's the best of the best. He's available on a serious note. I mean, he's reached out to me on the weekend when I needed help in doing stuff. So right now, what I'm trying to say to you in particular, you, Peter, and all the guys that I know, you have no excuse, because if you were able to do what you did to go gold at a time without anybody on the ground, come on, you have time now to really do it again. You've qualified to go on trips, to go with us to Vegas. You were there when I was in Doctor. You've seen things. So this company is as real as you have witnessed yourself.
Yes.
And I'm preaching to the choir here, because as I said, you should be the person. I don't know what kind of dance you're into, but you should get your dancing shoes on. Now that
I'm back. I promise that. I'm back.
You know, it's been soft. And I'm talking to you not only as a friend, but as somebody who is directly part of my team. You don't just have access to me. You have access to John. You have access to Keith. This is the most powerful leg in the whole Immunitech right now, all the way to Mexico. So you have people that, whether it's the English speaking or the Spanish speaking, we have resources to support your business. And literally,
I would add to that, if I may, Foster Sampson. You know, the thing that's really shines through right now that you can pick it back up on is that since Mauricio took over the role of CEO, the company has more than doubled its turnover. In 3 years. From just under 90, I think it was $98 million in 18 to now it's over $220 million last year. And they've invested that money very carefully in opening new markets and expanding the staff, putting in a new software system, putting in a new website. I mean, we've got a lot of new tools. There's some stuff that's coming in September, which is going to blow you away. There's stuff going on in the background now in our marketing department. There's some tools coming out that are going to be so powerful for us all to use. And what we need right now is ground force. We need foot soldiers. We need people out there joining, learning, understanding, enthusiastic. And you're the grandmaster, Sampson. You know, you're the old school. As Foster says, you've done those trips. You've been on the road. Now you're giving that wisdom to the younger ones. You know, we want the 30-somethings, those hungry guys. You know, the late 20s, early 30s. They're hungry. They want their own business. They don't have capital, but they have a lot of energy. You know, and I know Ireland is full of entrepreneurs. Absolutely, Dublin is the most exciting city in the Europe right now, right? We've got Google, Facebook, all those corporate offices. The whole skyline has changed in the last 10 years, unbelievably. And there's got raw talent of these young execs that are out there partying, and they need this product. They need it to keep their energy levels up when they're working at that speed. And they're going to be listening to your wisdom and how they're building a residual income passively for when they're burnt out working for Google in 10 years' time. They're going to keep this level of income up. Anyway, I've told you all more than I know, which is always scary. So,
thank you very much.
It's really good to see you. I love those headphones. I want some.
Thank you.
I'm going to come back across in September. If you get a crowd together,
okay,
we'll do a double road trip.
No problem.
Just for Foster, so we can send in the photographs of Galway again.
No problem. No problem.
Thank you all very much.
Everybody. Thank you, everybody.
I'm going to unplug it, and then I'll send it across to Keith to put on XYZ tools, okay?
Okay, thank you very much.
Wish you all the best. Take care.
Thank you, everybody. Good to see you, everybody. Good to see you, Foster.
Bye.